Hey everybody, Drew here, or Andrew, or whatever you want to call me tonight, or what I want to call myself tonight for that matter. Back here on Drew that Underground for Bench Clearing Brouhaha number 7, Week 14, Week 14 review and Week 15 preview, as the title says. Joining me, as always, my younger brother, Rob. Hey, bro.
Hey there.
How are you doing tonight?
Okay. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I haven't had to work since Saturday, and I don't have to work again until Thursday. So
It was a good week in fantasy this week.
yeah, I won both my matchups again, solidifying my spot in the championship tournament for no bench as the last seed. Which I think even if I lost, I might have still gotten. I'm not sure. And then what's that?
The way it works is it tabulates the results of the matchups, but it didn't update all of the information and set up the playoff picture until this morning. So if you didn't log in at all today, you didn't see any of that until
I did this morning because I was putting waivers in for both my fucking leagues.
Yeah.
Because I got some shuffling to do on defense in both leagues.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of J.J. Watt being a huge fucking name in the league, but acting like he's a fucking rookie.
Yeah.
So I'm sick of J.J. Watt, and I'm dropping him for a better backup tight end because I don't need a starting one because I already got fucking what's his face from San Francisco, Nick Bosa. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But as it is. And then True Football, this is the last week of the regular season for us in True Football. So I'm the second seed, you're the first seed, which reminds me, and no, Benj, you and I are facing each other in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So good luck to you.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I plan on bringing everything that I got because I stand by what I said when we started fantasy football all those years ago. If I can't beat you, nobody should.
Yeah.
But speaking of beating,
it's been a rough ride.
But speaking of getting beat up, Week 14 of the NFL. Which reminds me, I still got to look up the fucking scores of everything.
Oh, it's all right. I'm looking at them.
Well, I need to look at them so I can actually see what the hell's happening.
Yeah.
Because I usually read them off in a list here on the stream. So here we go.
Yeah, so the Thursday game was the Raiders and Rams.
Yeah. And the Rams to
they past them.
Was going to say it, but then I noticed I started hearing something from my monitor. I'm like, let's mute that. The whole fucking monitor at that point, because I don't want to hear fucking ads from it. But anyway, Rams beat the Raiders in an upset, in my opinion. 17-16. Baker Mayfield.
Here's the thing, though, about that game.
Yeah.
Both these teams have struggled this year. Both these teams have lost good games they should not have lost, and have really fallen off in expectation. And this was a very close game. It's as close as you can get, pretty much. Yeah. And still have it not be a tie.
And there's still the elephant in the room that you didn't mention his name yet, Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 fucking days, and he does that.
Yeah.
Which then says to me, well, this guy shouldn't have to study any fucking playbook for any team he ever plays for because he don't need to. Right?
Well, I mean, he's been a serviceable rookie. I mean, it's not like he was bad.
Well, I'm not saying that he was bad. Yeah. Like I was saying, it's just that when you get released or waived by the team that you went to from your rookie team, that's saying, well, I guess you weren't a fit there, but you weren't a fit for your entire career on the team that drafted you either. So something's got to be up here. And then he went to the Rams, and I was laughing. Well, who's laughing now? Baker Mayfield. That's who.
Well, it didn't look like they were going to need a new quarterback, but well, now they do. I mean, they did, and now they've got Baker, and it's going on.
And there's also the rumors that Stafford's injury may lead to him needing to retire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's real serious for Stafford.
Yeah, so.
And it's also real serious. There's other things to talk about that are real serious that happened too. But yeah, that one is not looking too great for Stafford at this point.
But my notes on the Rams Raiders game, because I did watch it. Adams disappeared.
Yeah, he got smothered. Wow, he missed a lot of passes.
And it was the boringest fuck game until like the last 3 minutes of the game when Baker Mayfield had to go 90 yards, and nobody except Baker and probably his mom and dad thought that was possible.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that even Rams fans are going, we lost this game, whatever. We're used to it. And then they didn't.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So LA has a potential quarterback, but then again, we'll get into our expectations of the Rams in Week 15 when we get that far.
Yeah, it could be a lot like what happened with Geno Smith. I mean, he wasn't doing nothing as a Jet, but now that he's a Seahawk, he's great.
Well, not this past week.
Well, yeah, minus this past week, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
he's still really, really good as a Seahawk.
Well,
we'll see if Baker Mayfield's really good. Well, it could be possible.
If in true football my waiver for my backup quarterback goes through, I'll have a question to answer for myself. Do I start the new guy I'm trying to get or Geno? So we'll see. Because this past week, the guy I'm trying to pick up lit up the fucking scoreboard in fantasy this past week. So that's why I have to go. Do I start the hot shot, the guy who is just started getting hot now, or the guy who just had a lukewarm week this past week? We'll see. But it all depends on what the waivers do tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I don't know a segue, so I'm just going to say the score. The Bills beat the Jets 20-12, which everyone was expecting.
Well,
or at least I was.
I did point out that the Jets have an excellent defense. In fact, one of the best in the league. But the Bills had a long history at this point, especially with Josh Allen, of being massive point putters. So, I mean, this was, aside from some recent failures by the Bills, this should have been an easy one. But it wasn't. The score does not tell a tale how struggled the Bills were to get anything done there.
It's not
and
like
they did nearly lose to the Jets.
Yeah. The Jets only put up 12, but the Bills only put up 20. So the Jets defense did their job. The Jets offense did not. The Bills defense did their job, and the Bills offense barely did their job.
Sure, if the Jets offense that we'd seen in previous weeks showed up for this game, the Bills would have lost.
But the Jets have a decent defense, so that's
probably why they have a great defense, in fact.
Speaking of good defenses, the Bengals beat the Browns 23-10.
Yeah, this is another case where the Browns offense faltered one more time. They just couldn't keep up with the Bengals, who have been on a couple of good weeks here, kind of a surge almost in their abilities.
On the upside, Deshaun Watson took a step forward this week.
Yeah.
In knocking some
rust
off.
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows if he'll ever return to being as good as he was, because he was absolutely on a streak.
We shall
Texans,
see.
But
all I know is the narrative
that he doesn't. We don't know.
Yeah. All I notice at the moment is the narrative of some people who do this like us on YouTube still going, And the best part about this week, Watson still sucks and dancing and playing strobe lights and bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
For obvious reasons, because they still buy into the bullshit of believe all women.
Well, I mean, that's because they made it hard to not be one or the other. And so people have gone full bore on being, I fucking hate this guy. And that's because they believe everything that was said about him. Now, I'm still trying to figure out if all of that is true, why is he not in prison? Oh, well, the justice system doesn't go after guys like that. Yes, the fuck it does.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what it really is things without evidence. Okay,
and that's exactly what this is. There is no evidence that has been put forward that says that Watson is everything that all of those women were claiming, and that other people, like other commentators like us on YouTube, have been saying. We don't know.
And I just don't see
any of that.
I don't see how you can just automatically assume everything's true and he's a piece of shit. Okay, why is the league tolerating a piece of shit among their ranks? Why haven't they thrown him out of the league?
And I know we've said this before, but unfortunately it's going to keep coming up because I keep getting pissed at other commentators who go, and Watson's a piece of shit. It's good that he sucks, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because you want to believe also that non-evidence accusations are evidence? It's not, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Evidence is fucking evidence. In a court of law, being tried as a sex offender, molester, whatever, that's justice. That's evidence. None of that has happened.
Yeah, he's still playing
football.
The
only thing that's happened, suspension, and the supposed victims attending his first game out of suspension. If you're a real victim, would you not want to be a million miles away from the guy? Just saying.
Yeah, it's another good question. Usually confronting is not something female victims like doing. It's usually difficult for them, not actually a fun, festive thing to go do.
But
anyway,
to move on from all of this, because I hate having to keep talking about this, but every time I see other commentators go, he's a piece of shit, he's this, he's that. Based on what?
Based on what they've confirmed in their own mind. That they don't
claims, really. False narratives? No evidence? Okay, fine. No. And you're not going to find here on this channel anyone buying into false narratives and non-evidence as evidence that somebody's guilty of something. Fuck off.
It's like the dude said, well, that's like your opinion, man.
However,
you
we do have evidence, or at least in one game worth of evidence, that we have to ask the question, are the Cowboys the best team in Texas anymore?
That game was way different than I thought it would be.
Because that's the next one. The Cowboys beat the Texans 27-23, shocking everybody. Because everybody thought that the Texans wouldn't score any points. The Cowboys would put up 80 points. No, the Texans showed up for the first time this year. For the second time this year, I mean,
that the Texans actually managed to get something. Somehow the Texans did way better than the Vikings against the same Cowboy team.
Which is fucking depressing, and I'm from Minnesota. I know I'm wearing Colts shit.
It's confusing.
Because I like being a part of a shitty team, apparently. Anyway.
It's confusing to watch the Texans almost defeat the Cowboys this past week.
Yeah.
It's real confusing. I'm thinking to myself, okay, either I've massively underestimated and should talk to Texans, which are my favorite team, so it's weird that I would have done that.
Or the Cowboys are massively overrated.
Or the Cowboys are really like up and down and not really that solid when it comes down to it. Either that or the Vikings are much worse than I thought, or the Texans are just much better. Some kind of combination of that.
Given the next matchup and the score from it, I'm willing to bet the Vikings are worse than people expect. And it's about what I expect for the Vikings in the frickin' first place.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, the Vikings lose to the Lions 34-23.
Sure, this is a bit of a crushing loss for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Not just because it's within division, which sucks for them, but it's also the fucking Lions,
And
who have been a whipping boy for decades
and
in that
the
division.
and the Lions traded their top tight end to the Vikings and then beat them.
And then this is actually a year when the Vikings have been riding high almost the entire year, only to have the lowly Lions basically kick the shit out of them in their matchup.
Whom are now
Later
6-7.
When it very much matters that the Vikings not be losing games.
And fun fact, if the Lions win the rest of their games this year, they would likely be in the playoffs.
Yeah, which is a rare occurrence in and of itself.
Yeah. And the Packers won't. The Lions probably will. Or the Vikings, I mean, probably. As long as they actually win one more game.
Yeah.
Which is all they fucking need. They haven't done it.
And yet they struggle. They're struggling so mightily against teams they should be bulldozing.
Yeah. Speaking of bulldozing, the Eagles bulldozed the Giants 48-22.
Yeah. That was actually, despite looking like a beatdown, it was worse than it even looked on paper. The Giants stood no chance from the word go. There was 21 points on the board very quickly in the game.
Like in the first quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah. And basically there was no coming back from it at that point. At least not for the Giants anyway.
A quick go back to the Vikings-Lions thing, because I watched that and I have some notes on it. First note, the refs flagged the Vikings for delay of game while the refs were not in position, i.e. blocking the ball from being snapped in the first place. So the refs were not in position. The play clock still ticking down, goes to 0. Then they throw the flag for delay of game. You forced the fucking delay, motherfucker. Anyway.
Yeah, well, the refing, as usual.
Second,
it's not news, and it's just to be expected at this point. They suck.
Second note, also on the refs from the very same game even. Refs call Jefferson out of bounds when he wasn't. Taking away a touchdown from the Vikings, even though they got the touchdown like 2 plays later.
Yeah.
I have no fucking words. I'm done with this bullshit. With the referees not knowing how to do their fucking job.
Well, again, this is why I, sort of towards the beginning of the season, I was explaining how the league could easily remedy this shit. They have the technology to remedy this shit. They don't have to have, like, cockeyed, bad vision refs calling everything. They could easily use cameras. They could easily use computers to do this. Yeah. Easily. But, and it would not be as hard as everybody seems to think it would be.
Yeah.
It would just be a matter of whether the fans actually trust that, want that, want to cleave to tradition or whatever. They want to do old school, rough in the dirt sort of football, and they don't want to deal with any new tech shit. They don't want anything to change.
Yet they use all this technology so we, the fans, can see everything, but the referees can't see shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my problem. You have all these cameras around.
Yeah, they have all the technology for you and I sitting at home to, if we could, on our cell phones, type on to our phones that could be connected to the scoreboard going, pass interference says Drew Dat Games. Pass interference flag.
Well, yeah.
Are we supposed to be the referees? Because that would actually be helpful, I think.
Well, no. I wouldn't let the fans get involved.
Well, you would actually get calls called in the first place, as opposed to now.
Yeah, but fans would be
calls not getting called
all throughout the game. They'd be shitposting calls, and so that the problem there is that if it triggers a call based on one fan's vote, some asshole fan could be out there saying, "Oh, that was pass interference."
That's why there would have to be a system akin to Twitter, like blue check mark. You have to be verified and a trusted source at that point.
Or here's the other problem: intense moments toward the end of the game when the game is on the line, one team's fans may be completely biased and don't give a fuck about reality, and they're just going to vote for flags because they know it'll fuck the game up for the other team.
True.
It's just a bad idea to have fans vote. It's not about this is not a fucking democracy, okay? It's a reality system. Okay, that's why you should have a computer program for this. It wouldn't be hard.
All I'm saying is something has to change because the referees can't do it. We, the fans, apparently sitting at home, have all the technology to see every fucking thing in front of us, while the referees don't.
I think they want you to be pissed off. It makes you got to remember the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. Okay. As long as you either have I love the refs or I fucking hate the refs, they've won. They've succeeded at getting what they want. As long as you have one of those two emotions.
What if I go even further and I just hate football? How about that?
No, I know, but hate again is not the opposite of love. So still having feelings about it is what they care about. As long as you say, I hate football, it's still on your mind. If you say, I don't care about football at all, that's when they lose.
You're right. We should end the stream and just not do this anymore.
I'm just saying that the ref problem is a problem they could solve. They've been able to solve it for at least 10 years now, and they don't want to. Why do they not want to? I don't know. You'd save in every way. You'd piss less fans off. You get better accurate calling. You wouldn't have a reputation problem. I mean, all of it would be fixed all at once. And the only possible rub would be sometimes, in those rare occasions, the computer might get it wrong, maybe. But far less likely than the refs getting it wrong.
Well, either way, next up, Ravens beat the Steelers 16-14 without Jackson.
Yeah, I'm surprised I was surprised they actually won that game because I thought for sure without Jackson they're hosed.
I'm surprised that it wasn't a Dusty Rhodes thing. Nobody wins. It's a tie.
Well, the thing about it is that whatever they managed to do on defense is what won that game right there. They were able to keep the Steelers under wraps. Something not a lot lately, the last few weeks, something that the Steelers have not had happen is getting put down on defense. I mean, getting put down by a defense. This time they did, and it was the Ravens defense.
Yeah. Next, Jaguars 36 over Titans 22.
Yeah, this one was kind of surprising, only in how much Jaguars offense did. I was really like, whoa. 2 weeks ago.
That's kind of the reaction of the next game too, as well.
Yeah.
We
expect the Titans in every game they play to basically get 15 to 25 points. Yeah. But not usually more. Really never get more than 25.
And the Jaguars? So
the fact that Jags put up 36 was pretty much doomed for the Titans.
Yeah. However,
it's just a tale of offenses. There was no defenses in this game to speak of, really. Yeah. So it was just a tale of which offense was more powerful.
Yeah. However, the next matchup is about the same equivalent we could say that we've been saying about the Jaguars and Titans. Chiefs and Broncos game. The Broncos showed up for the first time this year.
Yeah, surprisingly, the Broncos actually were able to make plays against the Chiefs of all people.
And then Russell Wilson had to get evaluated for a concussion.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs still win 34-28, though.
Actually, a close game between the Chiefs and Broncos, and we did not expect that at all.
Nobody
did. Expected the Chiefs to win, but whoa. 28 points out of the Broncos is unheard of.
Which means, depending on who the Broncos play next week, maybe they have a chance of winning next week in Week 15.
Yeah, I mean, assuming the defense doesn't crush them down one more time.
However, getting crushed is up next. Panthers beat the Seahawks 30-24. I did not see this coming.
This isn't really a crush situation. This was a close game. It was a lot closer than it looked on paper.
what I mean by getting crushed was I was expecting a crushing of the Panthers by the Seahawks, but not only did that not happen, the Seahawks lost.
Yeah, so basically what happened here was the Panthers' defense, as expected to me, were above average. Now, they weren't able to keep the Seahawks below 20, so that's not an amazing performance.
Yeah.
But the Seahawks are usually on fire against pretty much everybody. All right.
Defensively,
they've constantly been putting up over 20 points in every single game, no matter who they were up against. So the Panthers actually were able to get things done on both sides of the ball in this game, and that saved them from an L here. But it's the defensive scoring combined with healthy offensive scoring is what pulled it off here. The defense were able to keep the Seahawks to a reasonable number and also score of their own way.
And with the Panthers, I don't know any stars on the team anymore because Cam Newton is not playing there. Baker Mayfield's gone. Christian McCaffrey's in San Francisco now. Who the fuck plays for the Panthers that beat the fucking Seahawks? Is the biggest question that I have
Darnold
right now.
Was the quarterback, but he's not actually,
aside from him,
hero, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, his performance wasn't all that great at quarterback.
Yeah.
The running backs and running game is where it really surged.
Oh,
because they had, like 250 rushing yards between their running game.
Yeah.
And again, I did explain this also. The defense showed up big time. Sacks all over the field, multiple interceptions. The defense of the Panthers actually did quite a good job. And that's why they pulled it off. But it was still a close game.
Now, the next game coming up, I couldn't watch the end of it because the game got pulled from cable and sent us to the Seahawks-Panthers game. But the 49ers, 35, Buccaneers didn't even show up, 7 points.
Yeah. There's a couple of headlines to this game, particularly. Yeah. I think this is the game of the week for the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. Or the right reasons, depending if you're a 49ers fan.
Well, and if you hate Tom Brady and you go fuck Tom Brady all the time, this is a fun moment because they ripped you away from a Tom Brady game to go to a different game because the game sucked for him.
Yeah, so the quarterback for the 49ers, his name is Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
He is a freshly drafted, last draft pick,
7th round,
draftee.
Yeah,
who just dunked on Tom Brady in his premier game.
Mr. Irrelevant is relevant now.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant just dunked on the original Mr. Irrelevant.
Well,
I mean, not that he was the Mr. Irrelevant.
First of all, Brady was drafted in the 6th round.
No,
so
I know, the last pick of the 6th round. Brady was one of those guys. He was in that position back in the day of being in the very late part of the draft and coming into the game, Bledsoe went down and becoming a superstar because he could play like crazy. Well, that's pretty much exactly what Brock Purdy just experienced. And he did it against Tom Brady, no less.
Yeah.
Literally, no other quarterback, has gotten a chance to come into his first game of his career and dunk on the GOAT. It's never happened yet until just now.
The only 2 notes that I have on the Niners-Bucks game, because I was watching it till I was forced to watch my starting quarterback in fantasy, Geno Smith, suck this week. But the 2 notes that I have on the Niners-Bucks game is, first and foremost, the game got pulled in the 4th quarter, LOL. A Tom Brady game. Yeah. And 2, Christian McCaffrey, and that's all I have.
Yeah.
So, Christian McCaffrey's team wins again in a blowout over Tom Brady.
The reason that you wrote that is because McCaffrey broke 100 yards rushing again, got a touchdown, sort of, led the whole team in offense.
Yeah.
Aside from the quarterback, Brock himself, who did rush a touchdown himself.
Yeah.
I think Brock was the headliner of the game. because nobody expected Brock to be that good. I also hear he's an Arizona native, but that's neither here nor there.
That's irrelevant here at the moment.
Yeah. But yeah, this was his first game, and he pretty much dunked on Tom Brady.
Although I will have something to say about Brock Purdy, I think is his last name, right?
Yep, Brock Purdy. Yep.
Well, he did a Purdy job this week.
Yeah, he did.
But I will have something to say about Arizona when we get to Dolphins-Cardinals involving Purdy soon, trust me. But up next is the Dolphins losing to the Chargers 23-17.
Yeah, this one was going to be all dependent on how good the Dolphins' offense was. And they weren't that great in this game.
And the only note that I have on this game is all question marks, because I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Well,
the entire
what just
time
happened was, for whatever reason, Tua was human in this game.
Apparently.
And Herbert was Superman because he got almost 400 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert was pretty spectacular in this game, and Tua disappeared. So that's kind of the tail of the tape on that one.
Yeah. And then finally, the Monday night game, Cardinals-Patriots. Patriots beat Cardinals 27-13. Kyler Murray goes down after 3 plays or whatever it is with a non-contact knee injury.
Yeah, and it's pretty severe, apparently.
So initially, my joke about it was, forgive me, Internet, but my joke at the time was, I'd rather be home playing video games. Oh, ow, my knee. Anyway.
Yeah, this game was closer than it looks because going into even the third quarter, it was very close to tied. But somewhere between the third quarter and the fourth, it went completely toward the Patriots side.
Yeah, so what's that?
And it pretty much has shut the door completely on the Cardinals. The Cardinals are done. Or what would we say, fucking done this year?
Yeah. So on that note, here's my thought for the Cardinals. And obviously Kyler's knee is whatever it is. He probably won't be back for a long time, probably into if it's bad enough.
I'm pretty sure he's done for the year at least.
Because if it's bad enough, into the start of next year's regular season, potentially. If it's bad enough. And if that's the case, here's my thought for the Cardinals, my future home team come this spring. Look to the 49ers for a second, Cardinals front office. Who's going to be coming back from injury? Trey Lance, right? Bro?
Yep.
So Trey Lance he is obviously staying in Santa Clara with the Niners. Obviously. There's 2 quarterbacks behind him, one of which the Niners are obviously going to be wanting to, or it's been rumored he's going to be dealt to another team anyway in Jimmy Garoppolo. But now there's Brock Purdy.
Yep.
If I'm the Cardinals, would you not want to take a chance on a hometown boy, Brock Purdy, being formerly from Arizona? Just in case if Kyler can't go next year.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out an idea there, Cardinals.
I would just, well, wait, no. Purdy's not a Cardinal. Purdy's a 49er.
I know. Throwing out an idea to go out and try to get him from the Niners.
Yeah, you're talking about going after Purdy. Well,
that's what I'm talking about.
That.
Or,
what it's worth, though,
if you don't want that, it's obvious that Garoppolo's going to be leaving.
We shouldn't completely ignore the fact that Colt McCoy did okay in the absence of Murray.
I'm not saying that he did, and I'm just saying it's Colt McCoy, though.
It is Colt McCoy. Yeah.
I remember his Cleveland years. They sucked. As we all remember. Have you ever noticed that all of the guys that get drafted at quarterback for Cleveland are out of the league or on their 3rd or 4th or 5th team now? Ever noticed that?
Yeah. Cleveland doesn't know how to draft to save their life.
Which means that in about 3 to 4 years, watch Deshaun Watson either be out of the league or on his third or fourth team. Just watch. Anyway, because Cleveland is cursed.
But yes, the Cardinals really could. They may have to actually thicken themselves at quarterback.
Yeah.
They may have to. They may not have a choice, depending on how this goes.
I say they don't have a choice because considering how often that Kyler has spent, how much time he's actually spent on the field playing is a lot less than he spent injured this year.
Yeah, he's really been hobbled this year badly.
So having a Jimmy Garoppolo behind him isn't a bad idea, in my opinion. Or having Brock Purdy behind him. But I would go with either one of those two guys in my personal choice at this point. But the bye week teams for this week were the Colts, Saints, Falcons, Bears, Commies, and Packers. So, thoughts coming out of Week 14 overall after all of this. Oh, wait. I forgot about my one note from the Cardinals-Patriots game. The refs actually saw a fucking face mask and called it. So I guess that some referees know how to do their fucking job, but for whatever reason, the Vikings got the ones worse than the replacement refs. Okay. That's nice. Anyway.
Yeah. So you want to get into Week 15 preview yet?
Yeah, I'm trying to get there right now. Schedule. 15. Here we go. So.
Which begins on the 15th, ironically.
Yeah, Week 15 begins on the 15th, and it begins with the Niners going to Seattle to play the Seahawks. After this past week, this ought to be interesting. And now that I see that Geno's playing the Niners, I'm thinking that if I get that quarterback and dropping Fields for, I might just wind up starting him at this point because I don't want to be starting Geno against the Niners defense at this point.
Yeah, but don't forget that just because Tom Brady looked bad against them doesn't mean they're good. Tom Brady's been struggling against everybody.
Well, Geno slightly struggled this week. So,
yeah. But what I would expect from the Niners-Seahawks match is I would expect defenses to be middle of the road, but I would expect this to be a game of offenses all day long.
Hopefully.
This is going to be whoever's best offense shows up will win this game.
So, in picking our picks, I got the Niners in this one. You?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
All right.
They got more weapons.
Then
as much as I love to believe in that Cinderella Brock Purdy situation, it looks great. I love it, but I'm not putting all my chips on it.
This is
a guy can look good one week and then not be the next week.
This is a weird week for the schedule because we got 3 Saturday games next.
Yep.
So
weird.
So at noon on Saturday, the 17th, we got Colts coming here to Minnesota to play the Vikings. I got the Colts in this one against the Vikings.
Boy, if they lose to the Colts, man. If the Vikings lose to the Colts, then I officially have no faith.
I've already seen the Vikings lose to a team or two that they should have never lost to. So
no, I know. But the Colts,
I got the Colts in this one.
Bridge. Dude, the Colts are a bridge too far for me. I personally think the Vikings must win this game. This is a must win.
I know it's a must win, but remember, I've spent how long watching the Vikings, how long being a Vikings fan going, I can see it's coming a mile away. Watch. The Vikings are going to lose to the Colts. Just watch.
The Colts are, I love them to death, but the Colts are a pretty trash team this year. So if the Vikings can't beat the Colts, then they really can't beat anybody.
Each and every time
they can't beat anybody.
Each and every time the Vikings have the momentum, the sky's the limit for them. They wound up falling to halfway back up the ladder again and either barely making the playoffs or missing the playoffs or for whatever reason, not even going to the Super Bowl because they missed a field goal kick.
Yeah, no, we expect failure from the Vikings, and we're surprised when there isn't failure.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings lost the rest of the games this year, including this week. So, but speaking of losing, I don't know who the fuck is going to lose this game, or this 3:30 game on Saturday, and that's the Ravens going to Cleveland to play the Browns. I guess the Ravens are going to beat the Browns because they won this week without Jackson.
It's all about the Ravens defense. If the Ravens defense can hold down the Browns, then they can win.
And the Browns have a starting quarterback who has so much rust on him that he might as well not even be there.
Yeah. If the Browns find their feet again, they can win. Either team could win this game, but it requires either the Ravens defense to show up for the Ravens or the Browns offense to finally start clicking for, a change, basically.
So apparently the
either
Bills
could happen.
Yeah, apparently the Bills, I guess, have already locked up their playoff spot. So this game doesn't mean anything for their playoff position. For them being in the playoffs.
Before we move, before we move to that, we have to make guesses. So my guess is that I would say the Browns will win, just because I think Cooper has on-off games sometimes. It's maybe an on game for him.
I think I'm going to go with the Ravens just because of what I saw this past week.
Uh-huh.
And then we got the Dolphins going to Buffalo to play the Bills, potentially in a snowstorm.
yeah, very, very likely in a snowstorm.
So, on that note, if they play in Buffalo, I got the Bills. If they play anywhere else, I probably got the Dolphins.
Sure, yeah. Weather becomes a factor in December up in Buffalo, and the Dolphins are not used to that kind of weather.
Yeah,
for the most part.
So that's where I stand. As long as the NFL lets the Bills play in their home stadium in spite of the snowstorm this time, the Bills obviously are going to win.
If Tua, actually the good Tua, the Tua that can do things, shows up, then he can beat the Bills.
As long as he brings ice skates, potentially.
Yeah, he may need to. I'm going to go with the Dolphins on this because I still believe that they can do it against the Bills.
Yeah,
but and I have questions of whether the Bills actually are for real anymore.
Well, if they. Well, I don't think that question will be answered if they play in Buffalo during a snowstorm, because the snowstorm is going to be helping the Bills potentially at that point.
Oh yeah.
But the first Sunday game, Falcons go to New Orleans to play the Saints. I got the Saints in this one, bro.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have really struggled on offense.
Yeah.
And don't have much of a defense either. The Saints have more of a defense than the Falcons, though. So that may give them the edge. And I have to agree that the Saints probably will win this game. But I think it'll be on defense.
After that, Steelers go to Carolina, play the Panthers. I got the Panthers based on what I saw this past week.
Especially after what they just did. They're riding high, so they really could bulldoze the Steelers. We'll see if they do.
After that, the Eagles go to Chicago to play the Bears. I got the Eagles.
Yeah, this is the beatdown of the week, obviously. There's no way the Bears are going to handle the Eagles. There's no way. I mean, I've seen weirder things, I guess, but that would be the strangest time ever for the Bears to wake up and do something.
Yeah.
It's the Eagles of all teams.
Yeah.
So the Eagles are pretty much an obvious pick there.
Indeed. After that, the Chiefs go to Houston to play the Texans. Chiefs should win, but the question is what Houston Texans are going to show up? The ones from this week or the ones that have won only one game this year?
Is it going to be the ones that almost beat the Cowboys, the best offense-defense combo in the league, or is it going to be the Texans that can't beat anyone?
We'll see.
I have to go with the Chiefs, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Just because the Chiefs have been more reliable.
Yeah.
And on both ends of the ball, especially the offensive side.
And
I don't know if the Texans. I don't think the Texans are going to be able to keep up with Mahomes.
I
don't think so.
And just so that everyone, either watching this live or watching this later, understands, Desert Nord's favorite team is the Texans. So for him to say that, it's really fucking bad for the Texans. For even him to say that,
I've been pulling for him ever since 2006, and it just hasn't happened.
As for me, I'm just a football fan. I still consider myself to be a free agent as a football fan at this point, in spite of the fact that I'm wearing Colts shit right now. But as it stands, the next matchup, 10-3 Cowboys go to Jacksonville, play the 5-8 Jaguars. I dare say I think I got the Jaguars in this one.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one, won't it? I mean, because the Jaguars' offense is clicking like crazy.
Yeah, especially after this past
week. Isn't much to speak of, but
neither is the Cowboys' defense lately.
Yeah, well, the last game was surprisingly bad.
Yeah.
On defense.
So you have a team with a clicking offense.
I just think that the Cowboys' offense is so incredibly powerful that they're probably going to beat the Jags. So I go with the Cowboys on this one.
Fair enough. Lions go to New Jersey to play the Jets. I got the Lions in this one.
Let's see, where's that one?
Lions and Jets.
Yeah, I mean, if the Lions are going to get stopped, it'd be by the Jets.
Yep.
But even then, based on the fact that the Jets are kind of seem to be slumping a bit, the Lions' offense has been on fire. Like possibly the most productive offense of the league the last 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so will the Jets defense be good enough to hold them? Probably not. I'm going to go with not.
The Vikings didn't, and the week before, whoever they played didn't. So they're on quite a bit of a win streak, are the Lions. So.
The Jets are good, but they're not crush the Lions good.
Yeah. However, the next matchup, Cardinals go to Denver to play the Broncos. This one's for you, Brandon Perna. I got the Broncos in this one.
Yeah, well, it's hard to decide now, isn't it?
Yes, it
now
is.
That they end up actually with a Broncos that can do things.
Yeah, because Kyler's gone for the rest of the year.
And a Cardinals that can't do things.
If Russell Wilson is cleared to play this, it's obviously the Broncos. If not, then I probably got the Cardinals if Russell Wilson can't play. If Russell Wilson is cleared and plays, I got the Broncos winning this one. So it all hinges on whatever happens with Wilson. You?
Mm-hmm. I just think the Cardinals are the doldrums. So the Broncos might be able to take advantage. If it were any other week and I didn't see what I saw last week, then I would just say the Cardinals would be able to do it just on edging. But they're not going to be able to do it with freaking Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
And then after that, we got Patriots going to Vegas to play the Raiders. I think I got the Raiders in this one.
That's an interesting one because the Patriots have been perennially good on offense. And so have the Raiders.
Don't you mean defense?
No. I was talking about the number of points they put up in the last 6 weeks.
Because the last week or so, the Patriots defense has been playing like a Patriots defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did wake up on defense, but they were good on offense repeatedly now for the last 6 weeks or so. They just won their last game. They got 26 points. I mean, that's not nothing. And so if the Raiders can keep up on offense, which we know they can put up 40, they've done it multiple times. It's just a matter of can the Raiders overcome the Patriots defense, like you were just saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Patriots because I don't think the Raiders are reliable enough.
That's fair.
But they're capable. They've got a high enough ceiling to do it, but do they have enough reliability? Are they capable of persevering against the Patriots? It will be, in my mind, a slight upset if the Raiders win that game.
That's fair.
But they could do it.
After that, we got Titans going to LA to play the Chargers. I don't know who to pick in this one.
The average points tells the story here. Average points of the Chargers these last 3 games are illustrative of a victory against the Titans, because the Titans, like I said, have really never gotten more than 25.
And given the fact that Keenan Allen turned it on this past week, on that alone, I think I'm going to give the edge to the Chargers.
Yeah, and so did Herbert, the quarterback of the Chargers. He was on fire. He did almost 400 passing yards. He was all over the place. Like 40 completions, 400 passing yards almost. And that's good enough to win in any game usually.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if it's against the Titans, who only have one trick, and it's Derrick Henry.
Yeah. And after that, we got the Bengals going to Tampa Bay to, I guess, destroy Tom Brady and the Patriots and pull them off CBS.
The funny thing about this game right here, the Bengals versus Buccaneers, is that Tom Brady has a long history of trouncing the Bengals. All right. So he shouldn't really be struggling against a team he knows well. All right. He knows their playbook. He knows how to beat them. He's done it many times. And so to watch Tom Brady struggle against teams that he shouldn't be is kind of disheartening for one thing, I guess.
I think it's the coaching staff in Tampa Bay, honestly.
Well, it's a lot of things. Tom has not been himself lately.
Yeah.
Ever since his breakup.
Divorce,
So just on momentum, I'd have to go with the Bengals, but I know Tom has it in him to beat the Bengals. So this is another one. This is like the Raiders game for me. I wouldn't be surprised if either team wins, but I will be like, it'll be pleasant surprise, slight surprise if Tom actually shows up for this game and plays good.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Buccaneers don't have any weapons. That's really it.
Yeah. And the Sunday night game is the Giants going to Washington to play the Commies. I got the Commies in this one.
Yeah, I know. Right after the Giants just got trounced, I mean, they're coming off a bad loss.
And the Commies are coming off a bye week, so they're rested.
Yeah, they're fresh. And we know they can put up 30. They've done it a couple of times now.
Also coming off,
So yeah, I gotta go with the Commanders too.
Okay. And also coming off a bye week is the Packers, and they're hosting the Rams and Baker Mayfield at Lambeau Field. So Lambeau Field gets an up close view of the comeback kid, Baker Mayfield. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, well, if everything else was normal and fair, the Packers should be able to handle the Rams, because the Rams have been collapsing all year. But if indeed Baker has revived something here, then they'll actually have themselves a challenge.
Yeah, Baker,
we've seen the Packers do very little, and we've seen the Packers do a lot. So we don't know which kind of Packers are going to show up for this game.
If I had
is it going to be the 40-point Packers that blow everybody to smithereens, or is it going to be the Packers that barely get 6 points?
Well, first of all, the Packers are rested coming off a bye week, so Rodgers we know will play.
Yeah.
Unless the Packers decide this is the last game of the year, we know we're not going to the playoffs. Which actually, no, this isn't the last game of the year. Never mind. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, we're only in week 15, bro. That's 2 weeks left.
I know that, and I don't know why I said that. It's the last game of the week.
Yeah, of the week. It's the Monday night game there. Yeah.
I'm going to go back to Terminal where it's safe after this.
But yeah, I would go with the Packers because I think that the factors are all there for them.
Yeah.
And the Rams, I'd like to believe in Baker and the Rams, but I don't yet. So it'll be surprising to me if the Rams win.
Considering how much you and I are on the opposite sides this week, this time I am going to go with you with the Packers. I picked the Packers too, but with an asterisk going, I would not be surprised if lightning struck twice for the Rams. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, well,
I would not be surprised if a Mayfield lightning struck at Lambeau. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Considering he did that after being officially on the Rams team only 2 fucking days. 2 fucking days.
Yeah, well, the kid can play football.
I don't know a human being who can study 1 sheet of paper with words on it and know all of it in 2 fucking days. Let alone an entire fucking playbook.
Yeah, well, maybe they're just introducing him to the basics. Maybe they didn't get him involved in that much. Maybe it's going to get better. Maybe Baker will be even better this week because now he's more familiar.
Or maybe,
he's had a full week of practice or whatever.
Or maybe most of the playbook is absolutely identical to whatever is being run in Carolina.
Yeah, maybe the schemes are similar.
Maybe, but either way, if that's him not knowing the fucking playbook at all, just imagine what Baker could do then, knowing the entire fucking playbook for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And if he knows the entire fucking playbook by Monday, which is quite a while from now, by the way, the Packers could wind up losing then easily at that point.
Yep.
I'm just saying. That's why I say I picked the Packers, but if Baker knows enough, the Packers could wind up losing this, so don't be surprised if that happens either, even though we both are picking Packers here.
Yeah, I go with Packers again, and I think Rams have a chance, but Packers have the edge, I think.
So we're predicting a close game here.
Hopefully.
In the Packers' favor at this point, yeah. But as it is, that's Week 15, and as we always do, just glance at Thursday's game for Week 16, and it's the Jaguars going to Jersey to play the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know I'll have the Jags in that one as long as the Jags win this week, then I got the Jags against the Jets next week.
Yeah, I would actually go with the Jets in that game because I think the Jets can handle the Jaguars.
Yeah.
On defense. I mean, the Jets defense can handle the Jaguars.
And let's see, does anything weird stand out for a matchup here? Well, that sucks for the Cowboys. They play the Eagles in Dallas. The Broncos have to go to LA to play the Rams in Week 16 on Christmas Day.
Yeah, well, that's going to be kind of a lame game to watch on Christmas Day.
And
their offenses are crappy.
And well, also the Packers go to Miami on Christmas Day at noon Central Time, and then Christmas night Brady goes out by you to Arizona. So then say Merry Christmas to Brady for me and Bah Humbug too.
Yeah.
And then the day after Christmas, Chargers and Colts on the 26th. So most of the games in Week 16 are all on Saturday then. So set your rosters early as fuck at that point. Because you have to have them ready by Friday at that point. Yep. Or by Saturday morning even. At the latest. Because then there's only 3 games on Sunday, and that's Christmas. So is it possible? So of the teams playing on Christmas, are any of them in the playoff hunt? The Dolphins, yeah. That's it. Just the Dolphins, effectively, and the Packers. So Christmas present for Packer fans would be trying to keep your playoff hopes alive if they win this week.
Don't preview the whole Week 16 now.
Well, I was just looking ahead, and I'm like, wait, isn't this week Christmas? I want to look to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see who's playing on Christmas. Yeah, Packers, Dolphins, Broncos, Rams, Brady and the Bucks, and the Cardinals. So, That's
Yeah.
Christmas week, week 16. So, any other final thoughts going into week 15?
Well, the last week was successful in all three of my leagues. I'm going to be in the playoffs in all three leagues.
I'm going to be in the playoffs in both of ours because in no bench, the playoffs starts this week, and you and I face each other in the first round. So once again, good
I'm
luck.
pretty much guaranteed the first round bye in our league through football.
As long as I win this week, that's still the case for me as the number 2 seed. Because there is one team that if I lose and they win, we'll have an identical record, so I don't know what'll happen at that point.
Yeah, it becomes head-to-head against between the two that are tied.
Yeah, so if
it breaks it.
Yeah, so if I lose and the other team that is like one win down from me wins, we'll have the same record, so we'll see what happens at that point. But as long as I win, I get the second bye week for True Football.
Mm-hmm.
And then I won't have to worry about that. Well, at least that league on Christmas at that point. But no bench, I will because even if I beat you, I'll just go to the consolation bracket thing, whatever. At that point, But if I beat you, you go there and I move on. But as I said at the top, if I can't beat you, then nobody should. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But as it is. Once again, good luck in our matchup for the fantasy playoffs this week, bro. May the better team win.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said previously, I am shuffling around some of my defensive players so I can actually, hopefully, whoop your ass.
Oh, yeah. Well, good luck. I've assembled a pretty good team, as usual.
To the point where I'm even considering dropping Brady in an attempt to try to beat you.
I mean, this is the thing about that league is that it's all about spot starts. It doesn't matter what you've got top-ranked guys. Top-ranked guys can shit
because the whole free agency is everyone's bench. So it's just a matter of, do I think Brady will perform better against whoever this week? I don't remember anymore. Hang on. The Bengals. So do I think Brady will do well against the Bengals? Well, if the Buccaneers go down late, Brady's going to have to air it out, even though I don't think the Bengals are going to the Bucs are going to air it out, because I remember yelling at my TV this past week going, throw the fucking football for the love of God to the Buccaneers, because they just kept handing it off to whatever the fuck name the running back is.
Yeah, proper playbook management is something a lot of teams struggle with, especially the Bears.
Fournette, yeah.
Yeah, Fournette. You'd think with a guy like Brady, they would always air it when they have,
when they're down.
You think they would always air it, but they
in the fourth quarter, especially, just air the fucking ball out. Yeah, you got Godwin, you got Evans. Throw the fucking thing.
Yeah.
You have more fucking weapons than a majority of the NFL teams in the passing game. Throw the fucking thing.
Yeah.
You got Brady. You got weapons for him. Something that Russell Wilson doesn't largely have. Something that technically at the moment Baker doesn't really have in LA at the moment, with Cooper Kupp being out. Something the Texans definitely don't have, and they don't even have a quarterback. Really? Something the Bears definitely
Davis Mills, yeah.
The Bears have their franchise quarterback, but they got nothing else.
Yeah.
The Bucs have what they need to be successful. They just aren't doing anything with it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's why it's disheartening when they lose.
I don't know
Because
what the
they've got all
coaching
this
staff
talent.
is doing on game day during the first 3 quarters. On the toilet because of the chili they ate in the locker room? I don't know.
They're spending a little too much time looking at clipboard and not enough time looking at the field.
Maybe they're watching porn. Anyway.
But anyway, they really got to win games, and it's already over for the Buccaneers. But hey, at least finish strong, guys.
Yeah. But on that note, what are you going to be up to after this? As we end every podcast talking about that.
Just my usual.
I'm
Nothing out of the ordinary.
I'm going to go back to messing around with that one mod in Skyrim on my Xbox Series X because for whatever reason, Skyrim on my PC just still won't fucking play. So,
yeah.
In other words, I hate gaming on PC at the moment.
Yeah.
Specifically with that one game only, which is Skyrim. So, which is a travesty because PC is supposed to be the master race. It ain't working like it right now. The one running shit like the master race is the Xbox Series X at this point.
Yeah.
And a fun fact, I'm fairly certain that with the tech in my gaming laptop versus my Series X might be more powerful. I'm just saying. Because my PC has a hard time loading stuff into games. My Series X, no. So, take that for what it's worth, everybody. And they're both solid-state drives. And I know this is a football podcast, but we're also gamers, so.
Yep.
But as it is, that's what I'm going to be doing. Fidgeting with Skyrim, you're going to do whatever the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
And on that note, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the one like that we saw. There was a couple people in here earlier, even though there was nobody in the chat, I see. For those of you watching this after the fact, thank you for doing so. Hit the like, subscribe, share this out. And remember one simple thing. No, not fuck Tom Brady this time, because he's been fucked enough this year. By the entire NFL and his ex-wife. However, given what we talked about earlier, fuck the Me Too movement, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Later,
See you guys.